Wait a minute, and she's told 3 stories, a lot to get to here. And by the way, we have somebody inside that courtroom, so when we get some more information, we'll let you know. The defense wants the case thrown out. So there's our first question. Back with us, Susan Hendricks, Kyra Phillips on this one. And we're also going to delve into the legal mind of Jeff Gold, studious as ever. He just had the glasses on, so you know he's serious about this one. What are the odds, my friend, this one gets chucked out of court?
The blindfold?
The whole case, the defense wants it out of there. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the big question is whether, they've challenged the idea that this blindfold should come in because the prosecutor withheld the evidence, didn't tell the defense that they had found this blindfold, didn't probably present it to the grand jury, which indicted. So that's their theory. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to win that motion, but that's what they're saying. You didn't tell us, and you didn't tell the grand jury.
Okay.
Jeff, I have a quick question here. If you're the prosecution, word is that they're saying, look, she had a chance to walk away. She didn't have to push him off the cliff with both of her hands. But then if you bring the blindfold in and say, no, it was premeditation, that goes against your first theory. Could that confuse the jury?
Well, yeah, I mean, this girl is given multiple stories. I mean, that's what her problem is. At first, she, she made up an email thing trying to say to everybody that apparently, he went on a hike with somebody else. And then later she said, all right, yeah, I was with him. And, we had an argument. And now you have this evidence from the prosecutor that would seem to indicate some form of premeditation if there was a blindfold. So there's a lot of stories out there.
Right.
Which one will get to court, we'll see. But the prosecutor is pretty serious.
Let's go all the way back to their wedding and how friends came forward and said, you should have seen her at the wedding. They're in the middle of their vows, and she's like, looking
down,
up, looking down, totally not involved, not into it. I mean, there's all kinds of strange things leading up to the wedding, at the wedding ceremony, afterwards. I mean, this was just within a week period. This all happened.
Steve, do we have that? I think we have a friend talking about that just didn't feel right.
That she cried at the wedding, but not at the funeral.
No, exactly. She's looking down, wasn't into it at all, which is not what you expect when you're reading vows. Here it is. Let's listen to the friend.
During the wedding, when they were exchanging vows, Jordan was looking down and wasn't looking at Cody when she was exchanging vows. To me, that's odd.
Yeah, very odd. And let's get back to the 3 different stories. Jeff alluded to them. Let's lay them all out there. And these are the 3 different stories from Jordan Graham herself. Number 1 is husband texts her, and she comes driving up, and she says she sees him driving off with friends. There's number 1. Number 2, she just happens to find his body at the bottom of the cliff, and the park ranger's going, huh, that's kind of strange. And then number 3 is the one they're working off of for the most part now, is that they have this argument. He grabs the arm, she shoves him. But then again, one thing, and Jeff, I'll start with you, and Susan Kyra jump in as well. You push him over face first. Isn't that, forget the blindfold for a second, but if you're shoving someone and the cliff is there and you know where the cliff is, face first, huh?
Well, let me tell you something. First, Mike, there was one more fact which she couldn't avoid, that she had texted a friend back and forth right before this happened and said to the friend, hey, if you don't hear from me, something happened to me. So she knew. That's the prosecutor's intent right there. She knew there was going to be some form of altercation. What she was doing with a blindfold, I don't know, pin the tail on the donkey at the top of the cliff, I don't know. But it certainly is part of the case that she did something to him on purpose.
Do you think that the text was sent so she could protect herself and have an alibi, that he's dangerous, and if something happens, something wrong happened on that cliff? Was it to set up an alibi for her?
Hey, that could be. That's a good point. It could be. And then she just left him there for 8 days. And when nobody else, came by, eventually she had the telltale heart and figured somebody better find him. So, right, she could have done all this to set it up. But, we just don't know.
There you go. And also the fact, do they even have an argument? That's just coming from her as well. So we're going to continue to follow it. Jeff, stick around here again. We've got somebody inside that courtroom. So if we get any information.